Okay, next up you want to remove these two bolts holding the caliper. These are two 13mm bolts, one on the bottom, one on the top. So when you go to turn the 13mm socket, the inner bolt might turn with it. That's when you need a vice grip to hold it, and then you can unscrew the 13mm bolt. And for the bottom bolt, you will need a 13mm wrench because the socket won't fit in there. That's one, and that's two. Perfect. For this job, you do require a scan tool to retract the piston on the caliper because it does have an electronic e-brake, and I'm not sure if you can do it manually, but I did use a scan tool for this one. Now go ahead and remove the caliper. If it's too tough, you can use a pry bar to pry on the bottom and the top until it comes off. Perfect. Now set that to the side and remove the brake pads using the same pry bar if they're too stuck. Now go ahead and use a piston return tool and return the piston. For this, again, make sure you use a scan tool to retract it first, and then crack the brake fluid reservoir open, and then you can use your piston return tool to return the piston all the way back. Now there is two bolts holding the caliper bracket. There's one and there's two, and they are both 18mm sockets. And having a long ratchet to take off these 18mm bolts will help a lot because I couldn't fit my breaker bar in there, so having the long ratchet definitely helped. Now go ahead and remove the T30 Torx bit that's holding down the rotor. If the rotor is stuck to the hub, use a hammer and just hammer on the rotor until it comes off. And if you have a bigger hammer, the better. Use your wire brush to clean the hub where the new rotor will sit. This step is optional, but it is recommended to apply anti-seize to the hub so the new rotor wouldn't seize on there. Good. Now install the new rotor and put back the T30 Torx to hold down the rotor. Some rotors come with an oily film to protect it from rust, and go ahead, wipe that with some brake clean. Now you can take the shims off the brake caliper bracket. And use your wire brush, and if you have a squared file, you can use a file to get rid of most of the rust as much as you can. Perfect. Now you can install the new shims on both sides of the bracket. Now the caliper bracket bolts are a one-time use bolt, but my parts store didn't have it, so I'm going to reuse these. And so I'm going to use some blue strong Loctite on them. And the torque for these will be 75 foot-pounds plus 90-degree turn. And apply anti-seize to the ears of the brake pads. Do it on both sides, and this will just help with the squealing noises and the metal to metal contact. I like to grab a brush and just clean off all the loose dirt and rust on the caliper itself. Now remove the caliper slide pins from the bracket itself and apply some brake lubricant to it. And make sure you do this to the bottom and the top one. Now install the caliper and install the two bolts that hold the caliper on, the 13mm bolts, and torque these to 26 foot-pounds. For the lower one, you probably have to use a wrench, so get it as snug as you can. And again, use vice grips to hold the slide pin so it doesn't spin. This step is optional, but I like to clean the inside of the rim where it meets the rotor, just so it's nice and flush when it sits on the rotor. Perfect. Now install the wheel and torque the lugs to 89 foot-pounds.